Hello everyone, I'm Zoe France and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since I recorded a video, but I'm really excited to be back and to be starting making looks again. I have a new setup, so I hope there's like a little bit of background noise. I hope it doesn't bother anyone too much. I thought, what way am I gonna start my channel again? What way am I gonna start making videos again? And since almost the end of the year, I wanted to do something with favorite palettes or favorites of what's kind of sorts, because that's what I like to watch, to know what palette should I buy, what palettes are good, stuff like that. So, but I know that most of you guys like to watch me apply makeup. So I chose my top 5 palettes. There's a motorcycle making a lot of noise outside. I chose my top 5 favorite palettes, and I'm gonna do 2 looks with each of them and show them to you. And I'm gonna do a separate video for each palette. So the first palette I'm gonna start with is actually a cruelty-free indie makeup brand, which is also a Black-owned makeup brand, and it's Juvia's Place palette. And let me tell you a little bit about Black-owned and indie makeup brands. I'm gonna make a full video about what an indie makeup brand is in a few weeks, I think, or like a few days, because I'm really passionate about it at this very moment, and I want to share that with you guys. But Black-owned basically means that it is owned by a Black woman in this case. It could also be a Black man. And they really base their palettes and the layout of it and the names, I believe, on African goddesses, if I'm correct. And this is the Magic Mini palette, so it's a mini version of the Magic palette that they don't longer sell. They only sell the mini version. This is what it looks like. You have that picture with also on the outside, and then you have your colors. You have your cool tones like your blues, greens, purple-y shades, and then you have your warm tones. So I'm gonna make a look with both sides of the palettes on my eyes so you can really see what the palette looks like and how it works. I'm gonna take my mirror right there. Yeah. And I'm gonna apply some concealer that I've been using as an eyeshadow primer lately. This is in my project Pan, which I will also make a video about very shortly. But I'm gonna just apply that a little bit like that. That looks insane on camera. And I'm gonna take my Real Technique sponge. I'm just gonna blend that out a little. Not too much onto the brows because I already did my brows. And then do the other side. Yes. Like that. Is it kind of even? Is it? Yes. That's a nice base for the eyeshadow. It looks kind of crazy right now, but I'm gonna tell you this is gonna look really great. I'm gonna start, I think, with the warm toned look. So I'm gonna start doing that on this eye. And I'm gonna start with the shade Cassie, which is this light cream shade, as I would call it. I'm just gonna stamp that over the eye a little bit, because I'm so pale, that will actually work as like sort of a crease shade for me. Transition shade more so. So I'm gonna put that up there. And I'm just gonna kind of work that in so the concealer isn't too wet anymore. Like that. Yes. Okay. I'm now gonna go in with the shade Nana a little bit. I don't think this shade comes across right on camera because this shade is like really like a neon watermelon color, while this shade is much more orange. I'm gonna take the shade Nana, which is like a true brown shade, and I'm just gonna throw that in the mix. I'm just gonna work it up a little to give it a little bit more of that warmth. You when doing an eyeshadow look, the way I like to do it is start with the lightest shade you want to put on the transition, and then go darker and more near to the crease as you go. And you could also always take the shade you started with to blend things out a little again, like that. So I'm actually quite happy with how my crease looks. And now I want to throw in the shade Kogi, which is that watermelon, bright, almost neon-y shade. And I'm really going to center that towards the crease, not bringing it up too high. It is so much more pink in real life. It's so weird. So I'm going to throw that into the crease and just blend that out until the lines are just kind of seamless and are not really rough, like that. And I'm just gonna take the shade Kogi again, and I'm just gonna blend those edges in a little bit to make sure that it's kind of blended like that. And I think so far my crease is kind of done. I don't want to do much more because it's going to be really big if I keep on putting shadows on. So now I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush. I'm so well prepared. And I'm going to take the shade Zuba, which is going to try and show you a little bit closer. It's like a pink with like a gold shift to it. I don't know if you can really see it on camera. But it really blends into beautifully with this Kogi shade. It's kind of like a duochrome. In some lights it's dark and pink, and in some lights it's almost light and golden. So I'm just applying that all over the lid like that. So I'm going to put on one more layer, really cut those edges there, and then I'm going to take the shade Ocean, which is this light pinky shade. It's like a cotton candy pink shade. I'm just going to apply that right there in the center, kind of giving it a halo effect, which on my eye works really beautifully because my eyes tend to hang down a little, so I don't want to emphasize the ends more with more darkness, and I like to emphasize the middle. And then as a final thing for above the eye, I want to take a tiny little brush, and I'm gonna go into Juvia. And I'm really scared of doing this because I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna take this gold shade, put it right there in the inner corner. Like that. Actually looks quite good. Like that. Put on a little bit more right there. So you have that pop in the inner corner right now of gold. So I'm kind of done with like the whole top of the eye, but I obviously want to do something on the bottom. Next to the fact that I'm gonna try to use as many colors from this palette. So I've already used this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one, and that one. Maybe I doubled some shades right there. I'm gonna take the shade, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take the shade Sakura with a tiny little brush, and I'm just gonna bring that along the lower lash line to kind of bring everything in, to kind of like bring everything together. Yeah, that's nice. This shade is like more of like a true burnt orange. And then right in the middle there, I'm gonna take the shade Bonnaroo. That's the only problem with shade names like these. I can't pronounce them for the life of me, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna put that right there in the middle and just kind of blend that out to the edges. And that is the finished result on one eye. I know it's like a kind of a fully crazy look, but I wanted to show you as many shades. So I used all the top shades on this eye, and this is what it looks like. I'm gonna put mascara and maybe some eyeliner over it later, but this is the warm side, and now I'm gonna do the cool side on the other eye. First of all, I'm gonna take my sponge and just kind of blend that concealer out because it creased a little, which isn't weird after using it so much. And I'm gonna take, what am I gonna take? I'm gonna take this blending brush, Bright Profusion. That kind of seems to be loose. Okay, and I'm gonna go in, and this is kind of scary because both of these shades are really dark, so I think I'm gonna cheat a little and get this Cassie shade again and just blend that a little bit into the crease to form like kind of a transition without putting on like super dark blue immediately. That'd be kind of scary. Like that. There's at least some kind of color on there. Okay, we're gonna go into, I think, Yade, which is about like that. Oh, I think it's like mirror image, and I'm just gonna tap into it and just kind of just bring that onto there. Okay, there we go. And just blend, 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 blend. It got into my eyebrow. Do you guys see that? Oh my god. I'm just blending away, blending for my life. It's not too bad, but I'm not really happy with it yet. I'm just gonna bring a little bit more on there because why not? I'm just gonna blend that in. Okay, that's not bad. The only bad part is that it's in my freaking eyebrow. But okay, I'm gonna take the shade Cassie once more and just blend those edges out a little bit to kind of diffuse them and not make them so harsh. Like that. We'll see when the result, like when the look is finished. Then I'm gonna go into Iffy, which is like a purpley dark blue. I'm just gonna apply that a little bit more towards the crease and blend it out, but a little bit less than the shade I just blended. Is it this brush or is it just super hard to blend this shade? I normally don't really use these shades as like crease shades. I have to be honest, most of the time that I use these shades, I will actually use them as like eyeliners and stuff. So I'm just gonna blend that up a little, like that. Oh, it's not that bad. I made that work pretty good, like pretty well. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, good. Then we're gonna go into the eye shades themselves, and this is kind of a little bit harder on me than the other one. I'm like, am I gonna do green? Am I gonna do purple? What am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna do green on top, purple on the bottom. So I'm gonna start with the shade. I'm gonna start with the shade Buzo, which is this really like high green shade. I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid. This is gonna look like I'm a freaking peacock. Which is, by the way, the word for pauw in Dutch, for if children that are Dutch are watching and they're thinking I'm using gross words. I'm not like that. So I have applied this all over the lid. And then I'm gonna take the shade Aja, something like that. And I'm gonna apply it into the inner corner, like that. And I'm gonna apply it into the outer corner, like that. And then we have some definition going on there. And I just wanna spread that out a little, make it a little less harsh. And then I'm gonna go back into Buzo, that green shade. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit over it to give that like extra dimension, like that. So far, so good. Then we're gonna go into Yara, and we're basically gonna do the same thing, which I know is very boring, but I'm sorry. We're gonna take this brush right here. Is that clean? I don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna take a different brush. I'm gonna take this brush right here, and I'm gonna take the shade Yara, which is the lighter green shade. I'm just gonna apply that right there in the middle. I'm gonna do kind of the same technique as I did on the other eye. And just brighten up that middle right there. Like that. Nice. Then I'm gonna go into another brush. I'm gonna take this really bright silver right here. And I'm gonna put that. I have another brush for that. I'm trying to see what brushes are the best to use. I'm at like a literal mess right now. You guys are probably gonna be like, what is she doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I'm gonna take that silver shade called Juvia, I believe, that shade right there. And I'm just gonna pop that into the inner corner, like that. That looks really nice. Done. And now I'm gonna do the bottom of my eyes. And I'm gonna start with taking the shade Faso, which is this really beautiful duochromy, bluey, purpley shade. And I'm applying that all over the lower lash line, as you guys can see. I'm gonna turn around my head in a sec. Hopefully you can see that it's like purple in one light and blue in the other. I don't know if it comes across on camera right. Like that. And then right in the middle of that, I'm gonna take the shade Yali, which is this dark like silver shade. I'm just gonna apply that right there. Deepen it up a little. Where I lightened on one eye right there in the middle, I'm gonna darken this up right there. And then I'm gonna go back into Umoja or Umoja or whatever. And I'm just gonna bring that in a little more like that. Okay, you guys, so this is the finished result, creating two looks with this palette right here, the Magic Mini by Juvia's, and I used literally all the shades in the palette like this. And it is right. So this is the finished look with the cool side, and this is the finished look with the warm side. And so I'm gonna show them one by one because they look kind of weird together, obviously. I'm gonna apply a little bit of mascara and then show you the entire finished result before telling you guys a little bit about the pros and cons of this palette, and then we're gonna leave it to that. I'm not gonna apply any eyeliner because I think these looks are like bold enough already, and I don't really feel like fuzzing with eyeliner at the moment. Like that. Going into the other eye. This, by the way, this mascara that I'm using is the Rimmel Scandalize, what is this called? Wow Wings mascara. Oh my god, there's like a ginormous lump. Oh my god. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a ginormous lump on my lash right there, but now it's gone. Good. I'm gonna do a little bit more of that action. Why do we always make such a weird face when we do lower lash mascara? I can do upper lash mascara without looking really crazy, but lower lash, it's just weird. Like that. So this is the finished result with mascara. Yes. Focus, please. It's really bright. Okay, so this is the finished result with mascara on one side. I'm gonna come a little bit closer, look down for you guys. This is the finished look. And then the other side, which looks like this. And this is what the finished look like. Looks like. Wow. And that's it for today. This is one of my favorite palettes for the reason of... What? Oh. Do you see that, you guys? My camera just doesn't want to set on the brightness. Oh. That's better, I think. I really like this palette for the reason that it has so much variety. It is colorful, but you can also do kind of neutral looks with it. I really love Juvia's Place's formula. It's just really great formula. And I would recommend this palette anytime. It's kind of mid-price range, so it's not very affordable, but it's not very expensive either. If you buy anything from Juvia's Place, I would recommend waiting for their sales because they have really great sales every like month or 2 months. So you better wait for a sale instead of buying things right away because you'll spend way more than you need to on this palette. So thank you all for watching. If you are new here and you haven't hit the subscription, you haven't hit subscribe yet and the notification bell, please do so. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and if you have any video recommendations, let me know down below or send me a little message on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!